Tournament baseball is the best baseball. Well, actually, playoff baseball is, but tournament baseball is close to being playoff baseball. We're still early in the season, so that's what we got, and that's what we're going to bring you. And we're going to rehash that today on our Curtain Call podcast right here on the Man on Second YouTube channel. Another great week of high school baseball. This Curtain Call podcast is my rehash of the games I saw and kind of my thoughts, observations from another very exciting week. And here in South Florida, in Broward County specifically, the big games of the week were the BCAA, Broward County Athletic Association tournament. A lot of the teams participated. There was Tier 1 and Tier 2. The champions, congratulations, Tier 1 to the Stoneman Douglas Eagles. They held off a really good West Broward team 3-0 in the championship game. Tier 2, congratulations to the Pembroke Pines Jaguars, who rallied to a 3-2 win over Nova. Nova's playing really good ball. Nova's first loss of the year. Both of those championship games were played right there at Nova High School. A lot of other games went on too, but let's start right there with the championship games. Let's go right to Stoneman Douglas, because the story with the Eagles right now, I think they're 7-1. Just on a roll. They're just starting to find their stride, but it's not with their hitting, unlike last few years where they could just pound out a lot of runs. Pitching has really been the story. By my count, I might be up by one or two, but I don't think so. In the 3 wins that Douglas had to win this championship, their pitchers walked just 2 batters, all their pitchers, not just their starters. 38 strikeouts to 2 walks. I tell you, folks, in high school ball, if you're doing that, you're going to win a lot of baseball games. And then let's start with a semifinal game where Douglas beat St. Thomas Aquinas 3-1. That was a terrific game. Gio Rojas, the outstanding junior left-hander for Stoneman Douglas, he struck out 12 that day. A lot of scouts at this game. Hat tip to Thomas Giltner of St. Thomas Aquinas, because he had to go toe-to-toe, no margin for error. That game was 3-1 was the final for Douglas. But again, pitching was the story of that game. I do want to single out some position players for the week for Douglas on their way to this championship. Jake Rizzo had a really good week, for Douglas, playing first base, playing third base, hit the ball really well, had some big RBIs, hit a home run in the game against St. Thomas Aquinas. So acknowledgement to Jake Rizzo. Drew Freeman doing a really great job behind the plate. Drew actually got robbed in the St. Thomas game by Zach Malvasio, who in right field made you can see why Zach is not just a UCF commit, but there's a chance he will get drafted as well in July, or I think it's July when the MLB 2025 draft is conducted. But he kind of went back at an angle into right center, backhands, and nearly flips a completely over the fence, but it's like halfway there. He pulls it up, all emotional, as he robs Drew Freeman of a homer. Drew was a little snake bit. He had a lot of loud outs in that, but defensively really good, and at the plate, Drew's been really good as well for Stoneman Douglas. But again, they know how to win. Stoneman Douglas knows how to win. They've won 4 straight state titles for a reason. Their composure, their ability to win close games. Eventually, I think that lineup's just too good not to score runs. We're still, in that kind of first third. I want to say early in the season, but they've already played, 8 games? And, so pitching, again, been the story. If you're going to pitch like that at Douglas, you're going to do a really good job. I think Eric Torres had a good week as well. Bennett Gary at the top of the order. It hasn't totally fallen yet for Bennett, Miami commit, but you could just see really, really quality hitter. Nick Diaz, don't get frustrated. The average isn't there yet for Nick. Just missed just under a few balls that he potentially could have hit out into the warning track. It's timing. He's the big bat in the middle of the order. Teams are being very careful with him. So, we're going to see what happens with Nick Diaz. And Gio has been a star on the mound. I think every start he's had, he's struck out more than 10 maybe 12 in all 3 starts or so, but really, really doing well there. For St. Thomas, I want to point, I'm still on that semifinal game. As noted, Malvasio had a huge week, doing a great job hitting the ball, hitting home runs, doing a lot of good things. Nico Sabatino, we're watching Nico, a junior center fielder. The word's getting out on you, my friend. Your at bats are just way too good. Left-handed hitter. He opened that game against Douglas against Gio, who was throwing 93 to 95 with a 2-strike approach. He hits the ball into left center. Right, pretty much a line right over to the shortstop's head for a leadoff double. The quality of his at bats, even when he gets out, even if it's a strikeout, deep at bats, he's showing he can hit left-handed pitching. And again, very bright future for Nico Sabatino. Again, really, really good game. Let's pivot back to the championship game. West Broward, I think they're starting to find their stride. They played a tough schedule. West Broward, they've come up on the short end of a few. Had a really big win in 9 innings to start the week last week against Flanagan. Flanagan's a little snake fit too right now, but big win for West Broward. In that game, Ethan Lindor, Manuel, Sarcos, they were hitting the ball well. Championship game, no one really hit too much because Chase Waldrout did a great job for Stoneman Douglas. I'll talk about Chase in a minute, but we'll stay on Stoneman Douglas. Really, really impressed with this sophomore outfielder, Sergio Garcia of West Broward. Keep an eye on this kid. He got the hit that ended up being misplayed by Flanagan for an error that led to a walk-off in 9 innings on Monday. Even I think he had 2 hits against Douglas in the championship game, including, keep in mind, his team's down 3 runs, leads off the 9th inning. He goes 0-2, or he had 2 strikes, whatever it was, fouled off pitches. He spit on some closed pitches, took them for balls, and then chokes up and just, laces a double in that to lead off the 7th inning for the Bobcats. Defensively, he robbed somebody, I can't remember who, of extra bases and went back on the warning track and made a great catch. Keep an eye, Sergio Garcia. I'm watching you, my friend. You're on my radar. Going to get the word out on you. But we'll talk about kind of the hero in the championship game. I got some video. Let me bring it up. Let me get Chase Wild Route. I'm going to get rid of the volume, but you could see he had everything. The breaking pitches going. For Chase Wild Route, who was really, really effective against West Broward. Locating fastball. I don't think I've heard he's like 88 to 91, but didn't really have to use the breaking pitches were so good. You see that just dropping a slider, a curveball right there. Just really, really effective pitch. Just freezes hitters. Great performance by Chase. Really, and the thing about it is Chase. Just a little history. He lost when Douglas lost their game to True North Classical Academy, game 1 or 2 of the season for them. He was going up against Alan Soler of True North, who scouts are all over. This kid's as good as anybody right now in South Florida. Loses a tough 1-0 in that game, and I think he really kind of got dialed in and really kind of rose to the occasion for the big game. So happy for Chase. Great performance. I got a little video of Gio. Let's roll it here. Here's our good friend Gio Rojas, just unhittable. I mean, this ball just explodes out of his hands. He could spin it. He fastballs, he blows by people. Its slider's nasty. I think I saw a few change-ups he threw in there to righties that were really hard to hit. There he is. He's striking out Zach Malvasio, who is as hot as anybody who's been in the first 10 games. Zach has like 5 homers already. So let's throw it one more time. Sorry, Zach, but you ended up getting Zach got his third at bat against Gio. He went the other way and got a double. So we will acknowledge that Zach had a good moment against Gio, but as you can see, you could watch Gio throw all day. Just great performer. Also, I want a hat tip to my buddy Josh Jennings, the catcher for St. Thomas. Josh I think that kid's really, really talented. He had a home run off of Gio as well. So Josh, he did a great job there. St. Thomas is going to be really good. They're Douglas looks like they're going to go really, really deep into the playoffs again. I think St. Thomas could go deep into the playoffs, and that kind of will sum that part up. Like I was noting in the tier 2, let's touch on them a bit. We want to give some love to Pembroke Pines Charter, which they needed these games because they have a chance. They play everyone. Carlos Iglesias and the Jaguars, they're not afraid to play anybody. Sometimes the results aren't too pretty, but they went up and they won tier 2. Well played championship. Well, there were errors in, so the kids I know at Nova were distraught a bit because there were errors. But to me, when you're playing 3 straight games, this is high school. I've covered the big leagues for over 20 years. I know, 3 straight games for big league teams is one thing. 3 straight games in 3 straight days for high school kids, the hold up, it's not always the easiest thing to do. So even if the results don't go your way and there's some errors here or there, it's still, to get to a championship game, you put yourself in a position to play very meaningful games. But I thought the games were exciting. And, Pembroke Pines Charter scored like 2 runs late, capitalized on a mistake. Do want to single out Sebastian Gonzalez, who threw really, really well for Pines Charter, and my boy Dean Jaworski, the little left-hander who has been thrown out of the bullpen. We discussed Dean. Dean's stuff's, it's not electric, but he knows how to pitch. He can mix speeds. He can locate pitches both sides of the plate, finding usage. Obviously, this kid's a starter, but they got to kind of have to recognize the times to get him out of the game before he's overexposed. But he came in tough situation. I think he pitched the rest of the 6th and got the closed out the 7th. And to do that, and he had a couple other games. I guess he threw very well out of the bullpen in the tournament. Justin Probst, first base and pitching, big left-handed hitter, right-handed pitcher, gets some big hits as well. Over on Nova side, Aiden Paredes, he started a championship game. Good athlete, can hit, can pitch, competitive. He's one of the few pitchers here who literally could go 7 innings every time he throws. He's very durable. He's an exciting pitcher to watch. And I guess when Nova beat Chaminade Madonna on the road, Cody Boisvert, he pitched really well. And then Jaden Delgado, he's kind of like their little lefty closer. I call him the Sparky Lyle. For all those who don't know who Sparky Lyle is, look it up. It's a good joke I have with Jaden's dad, Junior Delgado. But I like him. He plays very good defensive center field as well. Junior, he's a Gold Glove caliber center fielder according to Junior, and so we like watching Nova play. They're a fun team as well, but really good baseball being played over there. So again, the tournament was really good. Congratulations to the BCAA to execute the way they did to have this. This tournament go so well. I also want to remind people, we're going to get into some other games in a minute. Please like and subscribe to the channel. We're growing so fast. Just a quick programming note. I'm going to pass the 3 million views barrier, hopefully by the end of today. And my goal for the month of March is 1 million views as we go. I've been really doing this for 14 months and it's starting to catch fire. And we appreciate all the input we're getting as we're growing this, providing a ton of exposure for these high school players around. Also, follow my written work on it's High School on SI, which is Sports Illustrated's high school division. It's kind of SB Live is what it has been, but it's kind of morphing into this. So you can find my work, look it up, SB Live or scorebooklive.com or High School on SI, or follow me on Twitter. I tweet out the links to my stories. I'll have the players of the week. I encourage everyone to vote on those, and my state top 25. I need you people to click, read, and participate because that's how I get paid on the freelance end. ManOn2nd's my baby. Everything does me, but I'm not looking to get rich to do this. But you click on those stories, I might have a little bit more gas mileage to come to your see your kids play at your at your schools. So I encourage everyone, please follow, support my work. Again, I appreciate all the other help I've been getting. Also want to highlight a few other games here because not everyone was part of the BCAA. I was at American Heritage. I saw them play True North Classical. Great game in terms of um, Heritage won 13-3, so True North is going to say, "Why are you saying it's a great game?" Because it didn't go their way. But Heritage looked like a team that could win state. In that game, Talon Holiday was matched against Alan Soler. I don't want to overlook that. That was an amazing matchup. Tons of scouts, at least 10 scouts were there. And finally, good in 3 years of doing this, Miami Marlin scout was there as well. So good to see the Marlins joining the scouting players in South Florida. So that's my little dig on our local big league club. But all the other teams are well on a lot of these players. But Soler, the line isn't pretty. I think he gave up 6 runs, but only 2 earned. Very misleading. A couple of homers, hat tips to to Chris Levy and to RJ Machado, who hit solo homers off a really good pitcher who could be taken in the first couple of rounds. And just a little commentary about these players who are on the radar of professional scouts in the area, scouts that are looking. These scouts aren't so much looking at the end result. They're looking at the talent and projectability. So if you're a player who knows you're being looked at and you lose 1-0, don't go home thinking, well, since I lost this game 1-0, the scouts aren't going to be watching me, because the scouts are looking at projectability, they're looking at your talent, they're looking at your skill set. As long as you're not hurt, as long as your character's there where they could defend, telling their front office people you're worth drafting without risk that they're going to regret the decision because the decision's made off of the baseball field. All those things factor into it. So keep fighting hard. When scouts are there, look to just play your best. And that's my little advice to these athletes as you're doing this. Again, I have to note that True North Classical, they're doing an amazing job there. Got a lot of really good players. Hat tip to Mateus Fisher, their fine shortstop. Also closes for them. Junior Miami commit. Really good player. And Mateus broke up. Talon Holiday can't overlook and overstress just how well, we kind of take Talon for granted sometimes because he's just so efficient, so good. But Talon carried like a no-hitter until like the 6th inning or something like that against True North. And Mateus broke that up with a double down the line. And in that game, Talon again on top of things, a bunch of strikeouts, and North Carolina commit who's just looking the part. Hat tip to Talon. And also in that game, I got a home run by Dylan Dubovic, our good friend. Dylan put one into the seats. Let's look at this again. He just boom. You could just see it just disappears into the night. 1 of 4 home runs by Heritage in that game, as noted. Levy, Machado also homered, and Bladen Caballero, he hit a homer in the game as well. Again, they had a really good week for Heritage. They also beat a really good Varela team. Varela's great pitching. But they got a little snake bit, Heritage. This is what happens when you play 3 good teams in the span of, 4 or 5 days. But they go up Friday night. They go up to Jupiter, play a state-ranked team in Jupiter. Heritage had a 7-1 lead going into the 6th. They gave up 6 runs to tie it. Ended up getting walked off, lose 8-7 in a tough one where they didn't get some breaks. But again, it's challenging for these schools. But that's what the districts and states and regionals are going to look like. You're going to have to need that pitching depth and pitching, a couple of days in a row or a couple of times a week. It's really going to matter, as well as, the fundamentals, don't make errors late in the game and so on and so forth. But, congratulations to Jupiter for that win. They're in my top 20. Joe Giamulli, who was at Taravella last few years, is up there at Jupiter High doing a great job. Also saw Taravella beat Western. Before I talk a little bit about Taravella, congratulations, Western coach Onel Garcia. During the week, he picked up win number 100 with the Wildcats in his tenure Great job. O'Neill works as hard as anybody. Really has the heart of his players and doing an amazing job. Hat tip to Gordo Falagon, their catcher, Jorge Gordo. He catching 3 days in a row is never easy, especially when he's catching three guys who throw either very hard or have electric type stuff. But Gordo was behind the plate in all 3 games. Also did well at the plate. So want to recognize Gordo Falagon. Jimmy Heward. Still dealing a little bit with mechanical issues. Got to get Jimmy right. His line against Taravella not great. Is a lot of it's just mechanics getting him lined up and to cut down those walks, because when he's in the zone, he's virtually unhittable. Turn over to the Taravella side. JC Martinez, they're a really fine outfielder. Chance to be drafted. I saw him hit a nice double over the head of the left fielder. The ball jumps off his bat. He's going to be a really good one. And one of my favorite pitchers to watch, Zach Stevens, left-hander who throws slow, and slower. We have everybody these days chasing velocity. Zach is subtracting, and hitters are frustrated beyond belief as they're kind of waving over pitches. Induces a lot of weak contact. Videos are up on pretty much everyone I've just noted on the ManOn2nd channel, either in feeds or the game highlights. But we got all the action covered, and it was another amazing week. And so enjoying doing these podcasts. Give feedback in the comment sections what you like, what you want to see more of this upcoming week. Again, I think I did 6 games in 5 days. I'm probably on that pace again this upcoming week. But I'm looking forward. I haven't seen North Broward Prep yet. Chance to see them twice. They'll be at Chaminade. They'll be at Heritage on Friday. Cardinal Newman from Palm Beach will be down. Looking forward to seeing them. And Jupiter will be down this week playing at Flanagan. Those are 3 teams that aren't here in Broward, but I'm looking. Well, North Broward Prep, of course, is. But the other 2 are from Palm Beach County. I'm looking forward to seeing them and seeing all the action. Again, thanks to everyone for the support. Let's get this thing. Again, goal for this month is over 1 million views. So I need you guys to watch these the shorts, to watch the videos. This is growing really rapidly. It's exciting, and I feel that this the site is really going to provide so much exposure. And it's my vision of how I think something very organic, very grassroots oriented. I'm authentic, like me or not, I'm authentic. I try to, be me, and I think that's appreciated. And I do have the best interest of the sport and these players at heart. And as we grow this channel, the more this channel grows, that's a reflection on the growth of high school baseball and amateur baseball. And I still do the big leagues as well. I'll cover that, but you kind of fish where the fish are biting, and the high school kids, there's this need and for this type of content. So I'm enjoying doing it. Fun times out there at the park to make this work. But again, we'll be out there this week. Looking forward to seeing North Broward Prep, Cardinal Newman, Jupiter as they come to town, as well as the teams in the immediate area. But with that, Joe Persaro, ManOn2nd, and we will catch everybody in the next video.